Welcome back, little ones. Welcome back, family members. Glad you all can make it back to another glorious day that the Lord has made. We are to rejoice and be glad in it, and that we should. And I hope you all had a beautiful day. God is our Heavenly Father. He created us all. He created each and everything that you see. All the flowers, birds, trees, the people, each and every one of us. And you all remember to tell your loved ones that you love them. Give them a hug. Let them know about your Heavenly Father God and His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. And you all love one another. And do not be angry with one another. And if you make a mistake, say you're sorry. Please forgive. Okay? I love you all with the love of the Lord. Let me get right into the story. Today is story number, I believe it's 102. Yeah. Yes, story number 102, Samson the Strong Man. Samson the Strong Man. There was once a man and his wife who had no children. One day an angel came to the woman and said, "You shall have a son. His hair must never be cut, and he must never drink strong drink." That means alcohol or liquor of any kind. "From childhood onwards he will bring to the Lord. He will belong to the Lord." The woman was overjoyed. Immediately she ran to tell her husband and told him what the angel had said. They gathered stones, built an altar, and made an offering to the Lord. This is what people did in olden times when they wished to thank God. And then the woman had a son. They called him Samson, and they brought him up just as the angel had said. They didn't ever cut his hair. He was bigger and stronger than any and all his playmates. Any and all of his playmates, that means his friends. He grew so quickly that his mother was always making him new clothes. When Samson grew up, there was nobody as strong as he. One day while he was out walking in the fields, he heard a loud roar. A great lion charged at him. With his bare hands, Samson tore the lion to pieces. Another day he caught hundreds of jackals. Jackals are wild dogs. They're smaller than wolves, though. He tied them tail to tail, 2 at a time, with a torch between each pair of tails. Then he set the torches alight, that means he put the light on the torches, and chased the jackals into the enemy's wheat fields, burning all their ripening grain, that means the grain that was ripe, that was ready to eat. Samson was very, very strong. Samson fell in love with a lovely young woman. Her name was Delilah. One day, some people who wanted to kill Samson went to her. This is what they said to her. "Find out why Samson is so strong. If you can tell us, we will give you a lot of money." When she was alone with Samson, Delilah asked, "Samson, tell me why you are so strong." Samson answered, "If you tie me up with 7 fresh bowstrings," that means 2 strings together that makes a bow, "which have not yet been dried, then I shall be as weak as any other person." So Delilah tied him up with fresh bowstrings which had not been dried, while evil men hid in her bedroom and waited. When she had bound him, that means tied him up, Delilah cried out, "The enemy is here!" But Samson broke the strings as if they were burnt string, and his enemies ran away in panic. "You have lied to me," said Delilah. "Samson, please tell me why you are so strong." If you tie me up with new ropes, I will be weak," answered Samson. So Delilah took new ropes and tied him up with them. Then again she cried out, "The enemy is here!" But Samson snapped the new ropes as if they were strands of cotton. Strands mean small fibers. Fibers maybe of a string or thread or rope. Yeah. "You are lying to me," said Delilah. "Tell me now, what is your secret?" But Samson would not. So Delilah nagged and nagged until Samson's head was spinning. That means she kept bugging him. At last he said, "My hair has never been cut. This is a promise made to God. If my hair is cut short, I shall be as weak like other people." This time Delilah knew that Samson was telling the truth. She went to Samson's enemies and said, "I know now what his secret is. They then came and gave her the money which they had promised her, and they hid in the bedroom and waited for Samson. That's called deception. He liked the girl, but she used deception and trickery to get him to tell his secret or his strength. When Samson arrived, he lay down with his head on Delilah's lap. She waited until he was asleep, and she called a man to cut off his hair. "Samson, look out! The enemy is here!" she cried when his hair was cut off. Samson sprang up to knock down his attackers with one blow, but he was as weak as any ordinary person. That means just like the average one of us. He wasn't strong any longer. They overpowered him quite easily and tied him up. They threw him into a dark dungeon. A dark dungeon is usually somewhere underground, where you more like a prison. Well, it's really dark. They threw him into a dark dungeon, and then they poked out his eyes with a red-hot iron. If only Samson had not listened to the evil Delilah, this terrible thing would not have happened to him. But slowly, very slowly, Samson's hair grew longer and longer. And also in the dungeon, Samson began to think about the Lord again. At that time, his enemies held a big feast in a great and high building. It was built in such a way that the whole building rested on two central pillars. The pillars are strong posts, and central pillars mean they were right in the center, in the middle. Then they shouted, "Let us see the strong man who became weak." Samson was fetched. That means they went and got Samson. And they laughed out loud when they saw him and mocked him. They were making fun of him. Samson asked the boy who led him to take him to the pillars at the center so that he could lean against them. The boy took him by the hand, and slowly, quietly, they walked through the crowd to the pillars. Samson felt for the two pillars. "Lord," he prayed, "remember me and make me strong again just once more." Then Samson leaned forward and strained. That means he gave all his strength. He flexed the two muscles in his arms. The pillars cracked and crumbled, and the whole building collapsed. So the evil people were killed, and Samson died with them. The end. Poor Samson. Because of Delilah, he lost his strength. And he got his strength back in the end, but he also lost his life. Poor thing. Well, the lesson we learn from this is sometimes people use trickery to get us to say things and do things. Just be mindful of who your friends are. Be careful who you pick for friends. If they got to use trickery, then they're not your friend. Okay? Choose wisely. You all have yourself a blessed day. And God's willing, we can come back tomorrow to story number 103, Ruth. Yes, Ruth. Well, I love you all with the love of the Lord. Don't forget to tell your loved ones that you love them. And you all have yourself a very blessed day. God bless you. Bye-bye.